Welcome to episode 30 of As Long as the River Flows, the Keepers of the Water podcast. Episode 30 is the conclusion of a three-part series on the decolonization of our diets and reclaiming traditional foods. Food sovereignty traces back to our original teachings to learn about the connection between the land and our food supply and connection to community through traditional foods. Decolonizing our diet means incorporating traditional foods to preserve and nurture our mind, body, and spirit and eliminate diseases that have long impacted Indigenous peoples. In part 3, Dr. Kevin Lewis wraps up his discussion on food sovereignty. Dr. Lewis is a Nêhiyaw instructor, researcher, and writer from Ministikwan Lake Cree Nation in Treaty 6 territory. Dr. Lewis has worked with higher learning institutions within the Prairie provinces of Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Alberta in the areas of Cree language development and instructional methodologies. His research interests include language and policy development, second language teaching methodologies, teacher education programming, and environmental education. For the past 15 years, Dr. Lewis has been working with community schools in promoting land and language-based education and is the founder of wâsakâyâsiw Culture Camps, a nonprofit organization focused on holistic community well-being.
And then, of course, who we are, where do we come from and how sensitive we are. And we should start thinking and readjusting the way we buy things as well. Maybe in a 200 kilometer or 100 kilometer radius, maybe that's if we can organize ourselves that way so we don't have to go so far and burn so much gas to get like fruits or vegetables like a long ways where you can actually possibly even grow your own, right? I wanted to give the creator, of course, acknowledgement and Mother Earth, right? So again, we did that in a pipe ceremony this morning. We were giving thanks and wanting to promote miupmatsun or upiganawasun. So how to promote well-being, but also understanding how to use our medicines in a good way, and also sort of not to follow the capitalistic model. Capitalism is kind of real, I don't know. And I don't want to sound like a socialist. I don't know if like English is such a, they departmentalize everything. They categorize everything. The true socialists were probably our elders that think about communally. How's everybody doing? But not just the two-leggeds. They think about the moose. They think about the buffalo. They think about those bears. They think about those winged ones. They think about Mother Earth. How's the water? What about the thunder beings? What about the sun? What about the wind? What about all those different things all around us? So true socialism is probably that, but the only ones that I've ever seen do that are the ones that are still doing those lodges. And they're doing that despite, all the rules and all the laws that have happened. So again, atayuhkion, these cultural teachings, all these cultural ways of planting. And there's some really good books out there, really good literature. There's one talking about in southern Saskatchewan, there's a book that was written, and it was about how well First Nations people and the Métis settlements and scripts were doing in terms of planting. And then the farmers then were getting paranoid because they're like, well, what about us? You got to cut them off. You got to watch. You got to develop policy. They can't be, they're out planting us. They're out gardening us. They're out. So this is documented, right? And it's because we have that connection. We know how to pray. We have songs of Mother Earth. We have lots of songs of Mother Earth. And then what she said in our worldview was, I'll look after you. There's two things that I'll look after. And then she's also stis no gawia, mamo gawimo, iguan stis no gawia. So the iguan mo agutun. So that's a part of atayuhkion. We needed to adjust because where I come from is kind of like a semi-isolated area, 30 kilometers out, then all of a sudden you have cell service, right? So in this little area here, thank goodness to Elon Musk, that's my bro. If somebody knows him, tell him I called him my bro. And then so he's got a little dish here that's allowing me to teach from here. Otherwise, Sastel, oh, this failed us, right? I'd be lagging. I would probably not be able to do this if it wasn't for my bro. Okay, so maybe he's got to invest in Keepers of the Water or wâsakâyâsiw culture camps. Hey, we're trying something here. And this was in our plans about, I'm going to say 2019. I'm pretty sure this was in our plans. And we were trying to get this. One of my really good friends, I call him Nêhiyaw, he come up with this idea of water and creating water filtration system that was of nature. And this is the idea of us trying to figure out, okay, water issues. We really wanted to figure out, what do we do? We need to clean this, and people are starting to feel the effects of like too much chlorine, the chemical treatments of our water systems. Like we were trying to figure out a clean way, natural way to filter the water so we can drink it. And so we did some scanning around, we found it. And then, but with this water as well, we wanted to figure out a way, because we're avid gardeners. We always have been in this community. We've always gardened. And whether it was wild things that we would transplant, wild medicines that we would transplant and they would grow here, which we've been doing. And so we looked, and then this thing called the grocer and hydroponics. Hydroponics is a new way of growing, and we're trying it. So we've purchased in the community 2 grocers, and you can probably Google grocer, but we're trying it for the first time, and I have a couple of really good things to say about it. One, we don't have to travel to Cold Lake. We don't have to travel to the cities to go find fresh greens. Fresh greens that we can eat for salads, fresh stuff that we can use for herbs, fresh kale, fresh, spinach, fresh different types of lettuce. So again, bok choy can grow in these. Like there's a whole bunch of different things that can grow in these grocers, and they're functioning right now. But what's happening in the community is we have to relearn and re-educate ourselves that we've never really always ultimately ate meat. Okay. Yes, we're hunters. We know how to hunt, but there's also eggs. There's also wild edibles that are out there, but also those gardens that we've always had, right? So knowing that there was a problem that happened here, okay, and hopefully a lot of my own community members hopefully listen to this. So we had a research that was done here, and I'm pretty sure University of Waterloo came here and they did some questions, and they were having our elders speak. So one of our elders speaks up and she says, oh, yes, yeah, we always garden here. I remember the very first Indian agent that was starting to move here. Indian agents were so powerful. They were given a lot of authority. And when they come here, they even called them Nêhiyaw Ugamaw, the boss, money chief. That's what they call them, the Indian agent. And what the Indian agent was, he started strategically on purpose this idea of dependency cycle kicked off by this Indian agent, which was so evil. So this Indian agent would come to one family, and then they would say, let me check out your garden. And then they would look at the garden, and he would assess the garden. Your garden's good. You don't need these rations. I'm going to go to your neighbor. And then if that one didn't have a good garden, all the rations were given, right? So the neighbor is looking at this and saying, what? That's not fair, That's not our way. So this dependency of ration day started coming. Every month, why people are waiting. Pretty soon, that first garden was saying, I'm not going to garden. I'm not going to bother gardening because, I want those rations too. Like this, my neighbor that kind of doesn't know how to garden, or forgot, or just never had a successful garden. So I'm going to forget my garden. And then they started having welfare day that evolved into welfare day. And now welfare day is the one that consumes us. It's consuming us. Pretty soon, people are just waiting for that, right? We forgot to work. We forgot our relationship with Mother Earth. That's this one right here. Mamu Mau, right? This is the one that said was going to provide for us. But it's going to have to take work. You have to work for that garden. You have to. Now it's still time. You can still plant right now. It's May. It's just the beginning of planting season. So we still have time to plant and garden and give acknowledgements to Mother Earth. Protocol. Put a little bit of tobacco down. Till the gardens, right? Start seeding, and then start planting those gardens for healing. Healing ourselves, and then start learning how to promote better eating habits, not just straight processed food, which is the cheap food, which is the most affordable food, just because that welfare check is not big enough anymore, right? So if you don't have that much money, you're going to buy and make that dollar stretch as far and wide as possible, and you're just barely making it by. So it's like poverty, we're just living in poverty, and that shouldn't be, right? So again, hydroponics, we've got 2 of them, and we want to invite people to come down, and we were going to just put it out there July 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, and we'll probably announce it virtually here via poster or whatever. But we're going to have a water gathering, maybe around food, but for sure around science, Indigenous science, and Indigenous knowledge, how to transfer Indigenous knowledge. And we've got a nice little lineup of people coming out. So we invite people out there. And again, Keepers of the Water have been with us through the entire time, helping us, organizing it, and being such a good partner, and helping each other out in developing spaces where we can talk about the importance of water, the importance of food, the importance of our cultural teachings. So again, wâsakâyâsiw, okay, our older brother, Mamo Kawimau, and Kisagaupisim, Iguao Gusua Ohe. So this is why wâsakâyâsiw exists. So lots of teachings with this one. Teachings about berries, the importance of food, how to hunt, how to screw up and get yourself back up, dust yourself off, and then get back up, right? So that's the thing. This has so much good teachings, this guy. The importance of brain development, that we're starting to go through, and again, Jared, when you opened up with all the different sounds that he was making in that beautiful, beautiful language of his, that was like, whoa, of course, like I said, I'm like, my ears kind of whoop, right? Love that. But again, our brain development, we need to incorporate language. We need to incorporate this to our children. We need to show them how to prepare these ducks, these geese. We need to show them because we have that ecological knowledge. We have that traditional ecological education. We have that. So we need to figure it out, how to engage and how to privilege our elders. That's what we need to do. We need to figure that out. And it's simple. I think we need just to invite them. Summertime just happened. Get those elders out, because now they want to be out. They've been stuck inside for too long. They've been out, they've been winterizing too long. Now bring them out. It's like the bears are out, and they'll come out and share all these little things about rabbits, about teas, about how to skin, how to prepare fish, how to feed yourself, how to make it so delicious. What type of flavors, natural flavors are they using? Oh my goodness, that was such a good fish. What the heck did you put in that wood, right? What was that flavor? They'll tell you. They're going to tell you all this. And then, of course, we have Wagutun. We have all this beautiful knowledge all around us. But the summer programming, in terms of ideas, there should be so much work here that's developing from just taking people outside. And then when you take people outside, the chemicals inside, they start balancing. And then the endorphins kind of kick in. And when you get them tired, doesn't matter what age, okay? get those elders tired, get those little babies tired. Actually, maybe those babies will tire us out because they have like unbelievable amount of energy, moly, but they, get them out and about, and it balances the chemicals inside the brain. Paddling, gardening, seeding, working. So here's some of the chemicals that we balance out. Okay, I'm gonna rip through this. And then these are the activities that you can do throughout the year. Not a shortage of things to do, right? Hunting camps, fishing camps, medicine camps, dog sledding adventures, winter travel, all fun things. Right now, we need to be on this. We're the original hippies, you're going to say, right? We're the original green movement. We're the oldest ones that deal with the green movement. We are the green movement, right? So people are starting to live like us. They want to know our connection. Youth gardens, there's us with the spring tapping. There's the old lady's hands telling us about medicines. Drink your teas in the fall time, we're preparing for winter. And then, of course, in the winter time, half a year in Canada is winter, at least where we are. So you get outside, that doesn't stop us. But these are kind of all the different little things that you can do. Food, methodologies, fishing, snaring, teaching lake things, water things, fish things, moving out and about, feeding our dogs, a big shout out to Save the Res Dogs here. We love our dogs. All of our dogs are res dogs here, but they're fast. Holy smokes, they're fast. So you can come visit us. Lots of, hunters, gatherers. We're everything. We're everything in the mix. So
that was Dr. Kevin Lewis. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to tune in next week as Long as the River Flows talks with wâsakâyâsiw and his experience on the Saskatchewan Water Walk. We have a new podcast every week, and if you'd like to be the first to hear new material, all you have to do is subscribe to the podcast. If you'd like to find out more about Keepers of the Water or donate to the cause, check out our website at keepersofthewater.ca. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and like our Facebook page for all the up-to-date content and news coming your way. Miigwech.